or do they think it has the best matchup spread? They're trying to hit into literally anything. I guess that could be the flip
Yeah,
side as
that is
well.
an interesting thing. Like, I feel like if you have a deck that you feel like has a really good matchup spread, you almost want to save it a little bit, not get it out of there too quickly. But we see the Australians brought the Arceus deck right off the
Yeah,
rip. So maybe them doing that exact strategy you mentioned, bringing the deck they think they may have the hardest time winning with right off the bat.
yeah, I think that could be the case here. The hardest time they have winning. I guess maybe you think what everything you have the easiest time with it, so you're trying to narrow down the field first. I guess you could look at it both ways because you don't want like decks to get like stuck against bad matchups, right?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it was just a draw pass. I believe Australia
Yeah.
did go first in this one. I think US chose second, and yeah, but this is a pretty bad matchup for Arceus, right? Because like they don't really have a way to deal with. Well, there's a beautiful off the rip from the invitation.
Wow. The
So
turn one invitation.
yeah,
Yeah, and we see there as well, the Australians did have the energy in hand, chose not to attach to the Arceus. I think waiting for the find of a double turbo energy, and they actually did just top deck a double turbo energy here. So waiting to maybe just go straight in with the Trinity charge, but it might punish them a little bit here because they could have otherwise gotten off an attack here since the capturing aroma does flip aheads, allowing them to get that Arceus V star. But once again, they will just pass.
yeah. So they didn't attach the V guard there off the rip. Were they just trying to? That was like curious to me. I don't know why they chose to
They had
not
a
attach.
judge in their hand, so maybe they were just waiting to go like attach judge so they don't get randomly Sydneyed. Oh,
Yeah.
but what a play! Wait, what's playing the Sydney? Wait,
What was the
what?
other
What?
option there?
The double turbo was top deck. They didn't know that double turbo was in the hand, right?
Yeah, but what else were they gonna play? There's nothing else to play, right?
Oh yeah, they've got nothing in
It's
their
also
hand.
curious.
Okay, I
They
see
poke
that now.
geared
Yeah.
for boss instead of poke gearing for was
Yeah,
it
I'm
an
trying to watch
Iono?
too much here at the same time, to be
Yeah, it's just
honest.
a draw pass immediately from Australia. We're back over to the U.S. Here comes the Misfortune Sisters. There's
Yeah,
three
just nothing
hits,
going on.
two pats of the peak. Yeah, nothing is happening. The what's it called?
This feels like a tough one for the folks down under at this moment.
Yeah, they do play the. Yeah, they are literally just draw passing. They do play the Squovette though.
So what do you want to
Um,
do here as the Australians as far as when do you, because at some point you have to do something, right? You've got to start attacking, you play the escape rope that they have in hand, right? V star power for the double turbo, start swinging, right? When do they decide what the right time is?
I think they are committed to timeout as their strategy because they play
Oh,
Squovette.
interesting. They are playing stuff very quickly.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think they're literally committed to the timeout strategy. This is a matchup they probably did not want to hit with the Arceus deck. They've hit it, and I think their win condition is timeout with Squovette,
Wait,
but
is that gonna work?
it can work. The Arceus player, or the actually, yeah, if they just get Squovette down, can you deal with the Squovette?
I don't think so. I think that just works, right?
That might just work. Yeah, I guess you can't deal with it, right?
Yeah, and I mean, we see the Americans are taking plenty of time making their decisions here. So I think, I mean, the timer is obviously going to pretty heavily favor the Australian players at this point.
Yeah. I think they are literally off the rip committed to the timeout strategy. They get the Rotom here, pick up the Spiritomb with the penny. And I think Australian is literally just going to be draw. Yep, there's the draw pass.
Wow.
I think they are committed to the
Wow.
timeout strategy from
That is
turn one.
crazy.
And theoretically, it works, right? Because there's no answer to the Squovette here.
I think it does just work. Yeah, I don't think there's really anything that's, yeah, there's no Crabominable in this list, right? No like way you could just get lucky and mill it out. It doesn't matter if it's like in play or whatever, right? So like, Erica's invitation, bring it to the active, you can still use Squovit if it's in the active spot, right? So
Yeah, you could theoretically fill the bench before Squovette happens, but I don't think
That's
that's going to happen.
true.
They have Starbirth, so they're just going to wait to Starbirth for it when they need to, or just wait till they naturally draw into it, I feel like.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
wonder
if
if
they ever got at risk of, yeah, because they have to Erica's invitation literally 4 more times and get a hit every single time that was not Squovit.
yeah. So yeah, I think this is gonna be a. This is literally gonna come down to a timeout strategy.
Wow.
Which
What a
is,
way to start things off, huh, Azul?
yeah, this is definitely not where I expected things. This is not what I expected in the first game here, but it looks like it's where we're headed.
Do we want to listen
So,
in and see what's happening, what's being chatted about from either side?
yeah, sure. What side do you want to go to here?
Well, we're going over to the Australians' turn, but it's going to end in about 2 seconds. So,
Yeah. So we go over to the US side then?
yeah, let's hear what they're saying. I don't hear them.
Okay.
Okay.
You're not gonna Iona, right? Just attach your charms. And
Yeah.
draw 3.
All right.
Okay.
Riveting.
Dude, they're locked in
Oh?
with this control gameplay.
Okay.
Let's see if they have it in their deck.
Oh, yeah. I wonder
Yeah,
if they'll
I'm
just
using that
concede here off
Squirrel,
seeing the
man.
Squirvet.
No.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm
All right, I went ahead. I went ahead and deafened there. Yeah, I think they realized what was happening as soon as
John
the
just said I'm
Starbird
down to push the button. I don't know if you heard that.
I did not. I deafened after that. But yeah, they know what's going on. They've seen the Squovet. They're down on time. This might be a game 1 victory for the Arceus deck. But that does mean the US will still have the control to work with, which is a pretty. I feel like it's still like it's a pretty powerful deck. Like it's like you're not hating having control around for the future potentially. They even brought up the Squovet there, but yeah, there's no threat on the Squovet, right? Like this is just going to be a draw pass scenario.
Yeah, literally nothing they can do here. They were playing to the Squirvet being prized out, it sounded like.
Yeah.
And he was there, so
And did Australia check their deck on turn 1? I don't think they did. So if it could have been prized, and if
yeah.
it was prized, then they would have been more aggressive about trying to draw prize cards, right?
Yeah.
So,
I think you just play to the odds. Like, it's not super likely the one of is prized. If it is, try to piece together some attacks from there if you can. Man.
yeah. I mean, they're gonna stick it out. I'm not surprised. Bradner wants to stick it out. That doesn't surprise me at all. Yeah, you said John said he was ready to. He was ready to call it quits.
They're already talking about. I've just been undeafening and listening. They're already talking about what deck is next and stuff.
I guess that's what you do at this point, right? You can just take extra time to
Reagan
apply
just said,
strategy.
"I'm down for CPOW."
Yeah. I mean, yeah. What do you think they should bring next? Where do you think that changes from here? So Arceus is going to be off the board.
I think that first off, that's like a sigh of relief on Australia's end, right?
Is that
We got rid of the Arceus deck.
you just
we
a-
got that out of the way.
Are you just an Arceus hater though, Chip? Because you've been like, you said it's all blue on the spreadsheet.
It is, but I mean, let's be real, bro. Like, let's be real.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you said it's all blue, but if the, but then all of a sudden it's the deck that you think you need to get out of the way the fastest. I also felt like this was maybe like because Arceus generally doesn't pair up great into. I feel like it doesn't have that great of a time against like Roaring Moon and stuff. Even Miraidon, I feel like it's tough.
Yeah, they could have made the call like these guys are probably not going to bring
Like
Roaring
any of
Moon. They're
those
probably
decks.
not going to bring Miraidon. Yeah, that is
Yeah.
true.
I think Moon is definitely like the toughest of those for sure. And if they, yeah,
But
that would be. Like
I mean, to be fair, you wouldn't think it does very good into like Gardevoir.
I don't think so. No, does it have a positive win rate against Gardevoir on the thing?
And then, well, maybe it does
the
fine
Fouché
against like
stats?
Tina and stuff. I guess with the V guards.
Yeah, no, the Tina, I'm not sure. Yeah, you do have the V guards, and I think like the list that, yeah, we're kind of just like this has kind of just become a formality at this point. I feel like, yeah, this has become like a formality at this point. We're kind of just waiting for US to concede at some point because Australia
The
basically
first
has
time
one locked up.
stash gets
And
used. Oh, here it is. Yep.
is this it? The concede comes in.
I think Australia.
Ooh.
It looks like Australia's brought the Tina for this next game. So hopefully Team USA did not bring control once again.
Yeah, we'll see here. No, okay, we got a lost zone showdown.
Okay.
Tina versus the Kyogre. I do give the favor. Actually, I don't know. It's close. I think I do give the favor to Kyogre overall.
You just have a few more plays, and you also can be more aggressive with this deck compared to Tina, right?
Yeah.
I'd also argue that like regular Lost Box probably like slightly more consistent than Giratina.
A little bit, yeah.
But the longer the game goes on, Tina probably becomes a little bit more favored. Like the longer the game lasts, I would say.
Yeah.
Because Kyogre's not a super big deal, I feel like, in this matchup. It definitely can be a little bit of a factor, but it's not like going to be a very common way for the Americans to win the game.
One
So
thing
the
is,
longer the game goes on, the more things like Roxanne come into play, potentially. Though I do expect to see both teams trying to play around Roxanne to a decent degree, right?
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You can play around Roxanne as the Kyogre player and like never go into Roxanne range, but still like be actively set ample win condition through Kyogre or through
Some Sableye
Sableye.
stuff.
Yeah. They are only running the one Sableye, I believe. So it's like going to be a little bit tougher to like do too much Sableyeing. They do have 3 Super Rods, so they could theoretically Sableye 4 times, maybe even 5 if one doesn't get knocked out for some reason one turn. But ideally, you want to try and like play around the possibility of like a board lock and then like Ogre taking 3 or 4 prize cards in a turn.
I think one of my least favorite early game flower selectings to see is what we just saw from the Australians, which is like basic energy plus super rod, right? Because early game, you're not quite sure which one is going to be more important at the end of the game. If it happens in the middle of the game, you can make a little bit more of an informed decision, but early on, it can be a little annoying to let go of that basic energy.
Oh, they even just like they didn't even play the nest ball. They could have got a Tina, but chose to just pass. It looks like just leaving 2 Comfies in play. Didn't put down the Greninja. Could have jet energy with the Greninja to draw 2 more cards, but taking it slow. Not, I think this is what is going back to that port is like not the point of like not putting too many things in play to open up the opportunity to play around Roxanne. Is like just kind of chill, take your time. Although this does open up the opportunity for turn 1 Greninja win the game. So that's the only thing here that could happen.
Yeah, possible, but how likely is that really?
Especially with the Dragonite start, it's definitely pretty tough. I feel like usually my rule of thumb is if, and this is like a super turbo build of Lost Box, they can definitely get faster.
Gosh, they found all 4 Colress right here on turn 1, by the way.
Oh, I forgot to switch sides here. My bad. There
They
we go.
started
I'm
with
over.
a Colress. They had 3 Colress in their opening hand, played a Colress, found the 4th one.
Yeah, they still got some options to work. Can definitely get to like, I can't tell what the card is behind their scoreboard there, but they could definitely get to a.
They do have
Cram
Forest
attack.
Seal Stone.
Oh, is that a force? Yeah, they should be able to
Forest Seal Stone.
pretty easily get to a cram attack then. They're debating playing the nest ball right now though, which is interesting.
Yeah, as long as the Lost Vacuum isn't prized, they do only play 1 Lost Vacuum. We'll see if they check that
Oh,
right here.
They can do it right now. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, they literally have it if they want it. Now, is it worth using your Forest Seal Stone to do that? That's a question as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think I like the aggressive play here. Only 2 Comfies in play. Like it could be the fact that they held back on benching some Pokemon. That's possible, but maybe they just only have 2 Comfies. If they only have 2 Comfies, you know, just getting aggressive and drawing prize cards. You'd rather knock out the active Comfy than the bench Comfy.
It's got the energy on it, yeah.
Yeah, and also an interesting play here, an interesting choice that they could make here is they got plenty of Colresses in hand. They don't have to bench Comfies themselves to open up prize card possibilities from like Greninja or something like that. They can kind of take it slow, and just go with
I think they're doing
the knockout on the bench one. Don't even bench a Comfy as like a liability.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. I mean, there's no reason really to bench the Comfey, right? You know your opponent's list. They're not going to disrupt you. There's no Iono coming through. So really no reason for the Americans to put the Comfey down. I guess if you expect your active Creamrant to get knocked out, it's a good send up, right? So that would be kind of the main reason.
You'd maybe still bench this one Comfy, to be honest. I think you'd probably still bench this Comfy, I think.
And they're going with the Lost Vacuum play.
Yeah, for the potential of like the response cram, like you want to send up a Comfy here, so.
All right. And what is the card that you can Lost Zone from this hand? Got to be the Pokegear, I think, right?
I would assume so. The other thing I was thinking is maybe Recycler if they feel like Ogre's just not very good in this matchup. I think Ogre is pretty good, so. And yeah, there's the Comfy bench to respond to the cram return hit. Yeah.
Yeah. So they jump ahead, turn 1 KO for the Americans, jumping up their first prize cards of the whole series here. The first prize card we've seen taken in the whole best of 9. And now Team Australia just sending up that Comfey, has the Jet Energy, does find Colress too. And a couple Path to the Peak. What do you think? Path's not really relevant at all in this matchup. Pretty easy to just send it to the Lost Zone right away.
I mean, locking down the opposing Greninja is pretty nice, especially if you just don't plan on benching your own, possibly.
You also, I guess, do want to bump Pokestop at some point, right? You don't want to just let the Ogre player keep their Pokestop in play.
Yeah, but they do play 4 paths, so finding like a path later on as the game progresses shouldn't be impossible to do. They should be able to get there. The question at this point becomes like, what is their plan? I think they're going to respond to the Cram with the Cram here. Would be my guess. So this should be probably going to get Cram.
Yeah.
And then start to just draw some prize cards. Yeah, and not leave too many liabilities in play. I don't even know if we'll see the Greninja get benched here as well. They might just hold off on that. But there is the energy in the hand to like start seeing more cards for it.
And I think this example here is possibly why we saw them hold off on using the Nest Ball last turn, because they wanted the potential to respond to a Cramorant. With their own Cramorant, they didn't have a guaranteed out, right? And getting down the turn 1 Tina, I mean, you're not going to go Lost Impact realistically on turn 2 unless your opponent literally goes Dragonite Pass. So
yeah, and then that gives you the option to either top deck Tina or top deck Cram, and the Nest Ball gets the other and lets you put
which is exactly what happened. I mean, didn't top deck, but found it off the Colress, right? So it works out just as well.
Yeah.
And still flower selecting here. Also, get one more card in the Lost Zone. I wish we had the Lost Zone counter.
Yeah, that would be nice actually. My big question at this point is, are they gonna ever are they avoiding not benching the Greninja? Because you would have wanted to Greninja before you use flower selecting there if you were gonna Greninja. So if they don't bench it, that makes me think that their strategy is to like never put the Greninja in play. And it maybe makes sense for the current board state as well. You have the Comfey in play, the Cramorant in play. If those both get knocked out, your opponent goes down to 3 prize cards. If you have the Greninja in play still, they can get down to 2 prize cards without KOing any Tinas. So maybe you want to force your opponent to have to go through 2 Tinas. I
bet that's what they're talking about right now, is if they want this Greninja to come down. You want to hop over and listen in?
Yeah, we can go ahead and see what's up.
So do we benching Ninja for sure?
Yes, we're benching Ninja, get rid of Grass.
Yeah. We could attach a trade as well if we want to, and then we keep that.
I would just attach the water to Ninja because we.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, yeah. Attach water to Ninja makes a lot of sense. Okay, let's do this.
Yeah.
This and then retreat power. Yep. Okay, split. Hands on.
All right, so yeah, fans of the Ninja in the end, they felt pretty confident about putting the Ninja in play too. Maybe it seems like they maybe weren't second guessing it too much.
And what do you think of this energy being dropped here?
Yeah, that's interesting as well. Trying to aggressively set up for the possibility of the Ninja on the next turn.
The Americans can play around that by not putting another Comfey in play, but it's kind of hard to not put another Comfey in play, right?
Yeah,
I guess you don't have to this turn. If they could have, okay, it is possible they could respond with Cramorant once again here. They've got Pokestop, they've got Super Rod, right?
Yeah, they just need to find the
Nest Ball and a switch. It's kind of a lot.
It could take the water here instead of the Comfey maybe, and that gives you the pivot out.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is like not a ton of options in this hand here. I'm sure they would have liked maybe even to use like Greninja this turn. You could like KO Comfey, put 90 somewhere else to set up for a Sableye attack later. And they're still not sure what they want to go with either. But yeah, they're going to lock in the extra Comfey here. But yeah, no way to pivot into it makes it feel a little awkward to have gotten. But they're immediately going to go into the Pokestop. And also, we did see those 2 paths get milled earlier. Or get lost on earlier. Not as many outs to bump the stop anymore at this point. And the stop definitely, they're only Roxanne or the Greninja.
Tough.
I mean, I think it has to be the Greninja, but the Roxanne is super powerful in this matchup on the Kyogre side, because the Tina player can't really afford to not go to Roxanne range.
Yeah, and then also, like, even if you were going to try to play around it, with open deck list in this format, they know there's only one Roxanne. So that Roxanne hits the Lost Zone. They know they don't have to worry about it anymore. And that's exactly what we're going to see happen.
And now it's super important to stay ahead in the prize trade, I feel like, on the US side, because you don't have the potential of the comeback through the hand disruption. So that the hands that get built up with a Lost Zone deck, if it doesn't get hand disrupted, get huge, right? And they're going to have everything they want every single turn eventually. So it's really important to now try and stay ahead in the prize exchange. And I think they did whiff, right? They did whiff the Cram Attack here. The Cram Attack was whiffed.
Yeah, they did whiff it. They could go Comfey again, get one more card in the Lost Zone, but that doesn't seem really worth it at all. You put yourself right into Greninja range, right?
Yeah, so they're just passed with the Comfey and the active. So the Cram is definitely getting another prize card here for Australia.
Now, here's something that could be interesting. We talked about some differences in list and stuff like that. If they find the one escape rope, is that something that comes into play here? Is it worth going that aggressive?
Just go after the Dragonite while you can. I don't know. I feel like because there's no hand disruption, you'll be able to make the boss play. There it is, though.
There is that.
I think
rope.
I almost feel like removing their draw power is going to be more valuable here.
Sure.
In the Comfey, because you'll be able to. Because if you're not going to get hand disrupted, you'll be able to set up the boss loss impact at some point. We see the boss is already in the hand. Actually, the boss loss impact is like available next turn.
Yeah, sure.
They're basically there. At this point, to be honest, the water energy on the Greninja is looking pretty useless, but you know, if they wanted it there to have like the threat, the pressure of potentially being able to KO some Comfies on the following turn.
Makes it harder for Team USA to be willing to put another Comfey into play for this exact reason, right? Like if there wasn't a water energy on the Greninja, maybe Team USA puts that other Comfey down so that they can promote it after this active gets theoretically KO'd to like a Cramorant, which is what we're going to actually see happen. But as it stands, Team USA is going to be forced to promote this 3 retreat cost Dragonite into the active spot.
Yeah, which is not great. They do have the switch card in hand. But I think they're heavily relying on the Pokestop and the Chorus to put it together here for sure.
You want to hear what Team USA is talking about?
Yeah, we'll see what they can make out of this mess.
Probably right.
I mean, we don't want to go to 3, right? Oh, sorry, that's impossible.
No,
I'm just trolling. Lol.
Yeah. So I think okay. So I think the plan is Ninja this, right? You go to 2.
They're trying to.
Yeah, I
piece
think
it
we want a
together
Ninja here. I think that's our best play here.
That seems fine.
So do we gate now or after? Chorus. It's the question. Probably after, right? We probably want to. Although I could go gate and stop, because I'm gonna stop first. Or I guess I could, because I want to stop first. Yeah, but I want to hit a water, is why I don't want to use this gate now. If I would use it later.
Yeah, I don't think using gate beforehand is correct.
Okay, that's fine. Enough.
Fine.
All right, yeah, they're definitely struggling to piece it together here. They're eyeing up the Greninja play, and that looks like a pretty decent Chorus. They probably don't even need... Oh, they actually go for the Manaphy. I was going to say, I don't even know if they need the Manaphy at this point. Because they have no liabilities really in play for the Greninja, right?
Unless they want to put 2 Comfey in play this turn, which they could do.
Yeah, they are getting 1 down here right now. 1 Comfey has entered the field. This is just looking really, really tough. Without, well, I think it's just gonna come down to some kind of Kyogre play though. I think the Kyogre play is gonna be has to basically be their win condition.
And that is the thing about this deck, right? Is you're really never out of it until like your opponent draws their last prize card. It feels like, you know, you've at least got a shot to try to find a way to fight back. You know, these are the best players in the world. They're going to do everything they can to play to every little out. If there's a 1% chance to win the game, they're going to play to that 1%.
Yeah, definitely. They're going for this Mirage Gate here. They do already have 2 in hand to be able to do the Greninja play, which it looks like they are eyeing up to do. But they really have to avoid...
they can lose this Super Odd. They've got 2 Super Odd in hand and the Recycler as well. So I think it's fine. It feels a little bad always to lose a recovery card like that. But I think to win this game, you're probably going to need most of those Mirage Gates to be utilized.
Yeah, I think so. So I think their route here is going to be like, let's see, Greninja KO Comfey, put damage on Cram, and then attack with Ogre.
The Cram.
I was going to say attack with Ogre first. Try not to deck out on the Ogre, and then Sableye clean up.
Okay.
That's like super tough to do. It's super tough to like set that lineup up. It's just super tough to set that lineup up. So I don't.
It's tough for this because like Kyogre wants to play around Roxanne as much as possible, right?
Yeah, they do have a counter catcher. Maybe they could get counter catcher. Ooh, maybe they could do something where they counter catcher punch the Tina, and then just do Sableye from there. Maybe like after this Greninja attack, KO Comfey, damage on Cram, punch Tina, Sableye maybe. But then you're giving up those extra prize cards to that you're putting the Dragonite in the active for Australia to be able to get 2 prize cards off that as well. So yeah, it's looking tough here to be honest.
So they will take the prize here to go to 4. Let's see where this other 90 goes.
They were talking about the Cram.
Yeah.
I'd imagine that where it sticks. The only thing about
it could go on the it's gonna go on the Tina. Okay.
Maybe they try and Kyogre like next turn without decking out and then Sableye the Cram to win the game. There was Kyogre off the prize cards. They didn't play the heavy ball ahead of time, but they know they can't get hand disrupted, so just held on to that.
No reason to, yep.
Yeah. Chip, your what's called card flipping's coming in a little loud through the
My bad.
Oh, I forgot to switch
Get
sides.
a little fidgety over here.
Yeah, let's see what they got on the other side. They are using a gate immediately. And I guess like this is where the escape rope could be pretty good, maybe. Did they keep
it's
it?
It's gone though.
They lost on it? Okay.
Yeah.
So it's probably just going to be Tina KO Dragonite, or because you really want to Tina KO it. I guess you maybe want to remove their draw power of the Greninja, right?
Yeah, it doesn't seem too bad. Does that ever give them? That could give them Dragonite into Kyogre to win, though. That doesn't mean that they're gonna get Roxanne, right? But they've got what 15 cards in deck, 11 in hand. They could thin a lot. They could play to the board pretty aggressively as well.
Yeah.
So maybe it would be. I mean, that might be the situation we find ourselves in here. Team USA is gonna like have to win this game. They're gonna have to get Roxanne at some point.
Yeah, but I feel like you can't do it before. They only have one Roxanne, I guess, right? They only have one Roxanne.
Who? Well, Team USA's Roxanne is in the.
No, Australia lost on to
Australia
Roxanne.
They lost on to Roxanne as well.
I think so, yeah. So I think they have one Roxanne. So like if you go into range and then can recover from the Roxanne, I guess would be the question. If you can pull that off, I guess there is like some hope. Here comes the Tina being pushed up here. I imagine this is going to be paired with a boss on the Dragonite.
Yeah. I think that makes sense.
Yeah, carrying the Tina with the Lost Impacts does not feel great.
Team USA is down one Super Rod. They've got 2 left, both of them in hand. So that's something else to think about as well, because they've only got the one Dragonite. So if they wanted to like recover that to KO the Tina, potentially, you can't really do that. And then also, if they're going with a Sableye route, they're going to need to keep those Super Rods in mind because they've only got the one Sableye, right, to reuse those.
Yeah, they chose to actually get rid of the Jet Energy or the Psychic there off the Tina instead of getting rid of the Water off the Greninja. So still preserving that Greninja potential. And also, I think they had a path in hand and could have bumped the stop, but decided to leave it in play.
Yeah, it does look like there's a couple path in the hand, actually.
Yeah, just pulled one off the prize cards. Yeah.
Now Team USA thinking about what the send-up is here.
I have no clue it just feels so tough on this side, to be honest. It feels like without the Roxanne, like this is where you could Roxanne, right? Like you have a huge hand here. Maybe you could have even pulled off like Roxanne plus Dragonite attack, but now we just can't, right? It's not possible. So I don't even know what you put. I honestly just don't know what there's to put together from here. It feels tough.
They're going to think through it. I mean, of course, play to every single out that they can. Definitely feels like it's a steep mountain to climb. They've got Pokestop and Flower Selecting both available. They can see a lot of their deck this turn.
I think the Kyogre play is definitely possible. I think about going with Pokestop first.
Mirage Gate in the deck is another question I want to know the answer to.
Did you ask if they had both Mirage Gate in the deck?
Yeah, there's because they've played 2, I think.
I think they're both in the hand right now. I think they have all the Mirage Gates in hand.
No, there's only 1 in their hand.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I guess is the last one prize or not? A tough choice.
Yeah,
keep
we're
going.
gonna see the Flower Selecting. I mean, I think that's the only play from here, but they're just trying to use all the time they can to think about every little decision, I'm sure.
They did find the chorus.
Escape Rope is pretty nice, though, at the end of the game to try to, if you want to Kyogre this Giratina or something like that.
Yeah. And also, end of the game, I feel like that might even be right now. Like,
it's got to be Kyogre this turn, you think? The good old mid-game Ogre or like the non-guaranteed Ogre?
Yeah. I mean, if you did it here, well, I mean, you could make it pretty much guaranteed. You could have like a 6-card deck with like 4 energy in it, right? Or 5 energy, theoretically. But,
so what's the difference with going with the Kyogre here versus like Dragoniting this?
Because then you get Roxanne. Oh, but if you Dragonite this, hold on.
Kyogre as well. Or you're trying to Kyogre for 2 energy?
I didn't really. Yeah, if you Dragonite here, they don't have a response to Dragonite on board. I kind of just had that realization.
Yeah, Dragonite here could be okay.
You do just went to 2 Sableyes. You just went to like Sableye, or Greninja Sableye. And once again, you don't have any hand disruption. So they have all these cards to work with, and yeah, no hand disruption to work with.
I mean, I think they're just going to have to draw out of Roxanne to win this game. Is just what's going to have to happen. Like you don't want to go into Roxanne. It sucks, but it might be what you have to do. You got to play to that small chance. They can burn a decent amount of these cards. We are seeing the Super Rod being played. What's going back here, Azul? What do you think?
I don't even know. I don't know what the play is here at all.
Dragonite angle, baby. Let's see it.
I feel like that is maybe the move, and then maybe you hope the Sableye is prize because that feels like the strongest win condition on the other side then. Maybe if you still had Pidgeot around as well, you could have had like Dragonite plus Pidgeot in play to play around. Well, I guess the escape rope's not a possibility.
It's just all energy.
Yeah, just all energy into the gate. Is it just gonna be
Let's see what's in deck here. They do have that last Mirage Gate. They've got Counter Catcher. They've got their Sableye.
They are loading up the Ogre.
Okay.
They have Chorus. You're gonna nest ball for the Sableye, it looks like.
Yeah, or Comfey.
Oh, I guess you need to dig through the deck a little bit more, right? So
yeah, they've got double switch cart in hand. They're not gonna have anything left after this turn, I don't think. Like that's another issue you have to consider is like how do you continue the game after this turn?
the win condition would have to be Sableye after that. There's the Chorus. There's the water they're definitely looking for. They got a counter catcher as well, so they can counter catcher the Cram.
Counter catcher's pretty good, yeah.
This actually might work out. Is there 2 Psychics in the deck right now?
I think so.
Does that actually work? Because they could put 3 more energy back into the deck. Do they just go for it right now? They probably do, right?
I mean, with all they're committed. I think they have to be committed at this point.
And they get to
You
retain
also could
a
switch cart.
get the energy off the Greninja, right?
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking, and then go for the recycler.
Mm-hmm. And you get to preserve the Super Rod.
Well, do you want the Super Rod to potentially bring back Sableye if they like Sableye or Sableye?
You can preserve
I assume they would want to put Sableye down here, but they didn't draw into it. They could also.
I feel like that was about a misclick onto the Comfey.
I was a little scared for a second. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. We have the Super Rod to preserve to be able to get to recover the Sableye. I guess Manaphy has to come down here as well, right? Because you have to play around the Greninja Snipe to just win the game. So we have to bench.
That's true, yeah.
You gotta bench the Manaphy.
Has to be put into play, yeah.
Unless the other waters are in the lost zone, which could happen, I guess. Oh, they are only playing. I think both of them are only playing the 2 water.
And this is. So what? There's 2 Psychic in deck, so they like don't knock anything out here, so they're not going to get Roxanne still.
No. If we shuffle 3 energy back to the deck, we could KO.
They could go.
We could hit 4. I think you'd want to
leave them with nothing in play but the Cramorant.
Yeah, I think that's what you want to do here. That makes the most sense to me. You hope to hit 4. Now they're debating whether or not the Mawile is worth the grab, but probably not because you're going to get Roxanne on the next turn almost for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely are 100% expecting Roxanne to be the play from Team Australia here.
1 more energy in the discard pile would have been... Why? How many they got here? That's...
Australia, honestly, well, they might have to like shred the Kyogre this coming turn, to be honest.
Okay, that would... Yeah, they could shred the... Yeah, I mean, they... that or just Sableye would still work. Also, they might have access to Counter Catcher as well because they'd be behind in the prize exchange all of a sudden, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's possible.
This is shaping up to be a really interesting one.
Yeah, let's tune into the comms here.
This would be a pretty wild comeback, to be honest, from Team USA.
Yeah, let's tune into the comms here at the end here from USA and see what they're cooking with this turn here.
Shoot the energy off of our ninja, then we'll have 7 in deck and 5 energies, right?
Well, okay, because if we put the 2 in, we have 4 energy, 6 cards in deck. We just can't bottom deck energy. We probably do put the energy in, right?
Yeah.
It makes it more likely.
Yep.
And now there's no way that we can Comfey, right? Then we don't have enough cards in our deck. We have to play Rod. It doesn't work. Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's Gate, Sableye, Psychic in there now, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
We're gonna recycler back into.
And we're gonna retreat and then recycler. All right.
Yes.
Then CC. All right, cool.
All right,
Here
Chip.
it is.
Yeah, it sounds like they came to the same conclusion as us. They've retrieved the Greninja. Here comes the recycler. So they have 5 energy in deck. They're not guaranteed to hit 4 here.
They're not.
They could.
You found yourself in a similar type situation, a non-guaranteed ogre, not too long ago.
I could have guaranteed it, though. I should have guaranteed it. And here we go. Aqua Storm looking for 4.
Need 4. 1, 2,
That's
3,
4.
4.
They did hit the Sableye as well, though, but they preserved a Psychic and a... No. Yeah, they preserved a Psychic and a
Psychic
Gate here.
and Gate.
Gate's pretty good.
Are the last 2 cards, yeah.
But none of these prize cards are good, right?
I don't think
Not
so.
great,
1
no.
energy
Use with
to Greninja.
concealed cards. Let's see what Australia is going to cook up as a response. They got Roxanne now. They got Gates. They don't have a great attacking option, though. But they only have Cram. And they might have to hit the stop.
For a nest ball, hopefully, is like what they're hoping for here, I think.
All right, Chip, you're
They
back
also
at
have
it with
Comfey. You don't want to put a Well, I guess it doesn't really matter.
Oh, that's
They
the
did get a
nest
nest
ball.
ball.
That was the big hit, right? That's what we were looking for.
Yeah. Now they could Tina Shred. They could Super Rod.
They do
I
play
don't think that does
Manaphy.
anything.
So if Manaphy didn't get lost on already, which I'm not sure, then it's possible to like have Manaphy to protect against like a follow-up Ogre play. So you could Sableye instead, I guess. We'll see what they go for here, though. They're going for the nest ball immediately. They do have Super Rod and are not playing Super Rod before the nest ball. So that means they're not recovering the Greninja. That's like the only thing they would recover here.
Yeah.
But it's going to be the Shred.
Yeah.
All right, Chip. Got to put the
No
cards
energy
down.
in the
Got to put the cards down.
Sorry, bro. Sorry.
It's just like a natural reaction. Pick up the cards, shuffle the cards.
Yes.
That's all right, you're
I
good.
just get fidgety. At the casting desk, I always have a pen that I'm like fiddling and like twirling around in my fingers.
All right. So it does have to be Shred into Shred here. I don't think there's a possibility. Like the only win condition for the US side here is Sableye. But it's going to be so hard to get to. I don't even know if it's possible. They need like...
Do they have a...
They have a Super Rod.
Colress. No, they don't have a
Nest
Colress.
Ball.
They have no Colress left.
Yeah, no Colress.
Geez.
They have a Gate.
They've got double switch carts. They've got... They could piece things together because they've still got a Pokestop. They've still got basic energy. They've got a couple switch carts, but they're going to need a lot off of Roxanne because we're expecting to see a Roxanne here and also Path to the Peak. And that's another piece. It's going to shut down the Greninja. So I think Team USA is definitely going to have to get pretty lucky.
Yeah, it'd be tough. They have,
and even if they get lucky, it might not be enough.
Yeah, they have like they could draw into their second stop, which has the potential to find Gate or Super Rod. If they draw into the Lightning Energy plus this Pokestop.
If they draw into like Stop plus Energy specifically, that would be pretty good.
Yeah, like if they get Stop, Energy, Super Rod, and they're able to use Stop, get Mirage Gate, but they got to get the Sableye too. There's just so much. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. It's tough for sure. Yeah, here comes the Super Rod. They're recovering some stuff before they hit this. Before they hit this Roxanne, the Mirage Gate. I guess they're playing around. I was curious. I don't know what they're playing around really with that. Getting the Tina back. Getting the energy back kind of made sense. The Tina V-Star. Maybe in case a Dragonite ends up in the active, I guess, so they can't shred it. That's the only thing I can think about. I don't think a Dragonite's attacking, but it could end up in the
if
active.
They're attacking with Dragonite, the game's over, right?
Yeah. And I believe there was a boss left, so they got the energy on the Cram to make sure the Cram can move. This one's looking pretty good.
Oh, you mean if they... I see. Like, they're playing around, like, if they just push Dragonite to, like, buy a turn.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're going to full thin all these switch cards as well.
Yeah. Because even the Mawile trapping the Cram's not going to do anything. Yeah, they're just burning everything here.
Yep.
And then here's the Roxanne.
Yeah. Not burning the Pokegear still has value, so... They're going to hold on to that. Roxanne, just 2 cards. We're going to take a sneak peek.
Do you ever countercatcher the Greninja here, actually? Oh, no, because you want to play around Super Rod plus Aqua Storm. Never mind,
yeah, that is something they could potentially do. Yeah, KO and Kyogre here always feels correct. They go to 1 prize card. It is 1 prize card apiece. Let's see if Team USA can fight out of this.
There's a Super
They're
Rod.
They're going to need a lot.
Oh, it's a boss. But I don't even think...
Can they ever get... Wait. If they Super Rod back Cramorant, I don't think.
No, I don't think so. Otherwise, they got to. Yeah, I don't think there's a combination of cards here.
And hitting this energy is really bad too.
Yeah, now they would need Mirage Gate. They just don't have enough pieces left. Honestly, milling the Sableye was bad. They can't get enough
cards in their hand.
Yeah, I think like a big thing actually would have been if they had been able to bench the Sableye.
Yeah.
Get the Sableye on the bench, so it didn't get milled from the Kyogre. That would have been big. It wouldn't have led to a win in this situation specifically. Also, maybe like Super Rod and Cram back to the deck. Because there is that other, there's the opposing Cram, and they did have Boss left, but they wouldn't have been able to get it on the bench, which would have been the big part, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I don't even know if that makes like that big of a difference. So this one almost feels, it feels like a formality at this point. I think this is going the way of Australia here in game 2.
Yeah. There's Pokestop, but what can they... it's the Mirage Gate too, though.
Yeah, because the Pokestop, the things that the Pokestop could reach was the Super Rod or the Mirage Gate, and now both
if they
are
had
gone.
like Nest Ball plus a Switch Cart left, they could win with Cramorant and Boss, but they don't have
honestly
a Nest Ball
really
left.
close. They were like,
They
honestly,
are really close.
They're just like a card away. Yeah, if they had the Cram. If they had the Cram, then that would do it as well. No way to get the Cram, though. No energy for the concealed cards.
Should they have Super Rodded to start the turn to put Cramorant in their hand or in their deck, right? Super Rod to start the turn, put Cramorant in your deck.
Well, you need
so that
stop.
way if you see it off flower selecting and you find specifically stop, and you can find stop into switch card into boss's orders, you win the game.
But that's never generating a card. It's only over going 1 for 1. So if you get the Cram off the first Comfy, you can't get to the next Comfy. You need to hit the stop is the thing that generates the extra card there, right?
They didn't have a switch already?
I don't think so. I could be wrong.
Okay.
Could be wrong.
I don't remember for sure.
All right. Australia goes up 2-0.
2-0.
Interesting.
Yeah, and this is going to be huge here as well. It does look like it's going to be the Gardevoir mirror. So kind of interesting, with 5 different decks that we would see a mirror match run into each other. They did choose a lot of similar decks, so, it probably would happen at some point. But the fact that it is this Gardevoir mirror match and Team USA is going first, in the mirror, going first is definitely a huge edge.
Yeah, you definitely want to be going first. Not quite what you're looking for, missing a basic Pokemon there, but almost what they wanted there. That would have actually been pretty decent.
Wouldn't have been a bad hand.
Yeah, would have liked it if they had that roll.
No basic psychic energy, I guess.
Yeah, would have had the Iono for the turn 2 for the step, so they were close to it. Not quite. Yeah, is it a confirmed Gardevoir mirror? We can take a look at that hand on the other side.
Yep,
it is a Gardevoir mirror. Okay, and we see, Australia's hand's not super good. They are going second, so they will have potential if they get a draw supporter to work with.
Starting the Greninja here, going second, what do you think's going on there with that decision?
It's probably to play around like Lost Box and stuff like that, I would imagine.
What if they brought the Snorlax right off the bat? They do have the Turo, I guess, right? But
I guess true. I guess they're just kind of making that call. Get back over here to Team US. Their opening hand is okay, but there's a refinement in hand, which means they're not going to be set up super well for a super powerful Mirage step.
Yeah, they could research into Super Rod next turn, but you don't love burning a Super Rod that early.
You're kind of hoping that your opponent Ionos here more so than anything.
Yeah, they have a pretty decent hand otherwise, though. VIP pass, get a couple routes probably. They might be debating going for Mew. I think the Americans are the ones that are playing the Mew. Australia is not playing Mew. Is that right? Or
no, Australia. Yeah, you have it backwards. Australia's playing the Mew. So I think they are going to play for a Mirage step here. You probably just want to get down like triple rolls. So one of them can become a Curlia. Leave one open
see that
for
prize
Candy.
Check here. Check how many Super Rod are prized as well. That's another part of it. If you use a Super Rod early and your other one is prized, it can get a little sketchy. They do have all their other Curlias in the deck, it looks like.
Yeah. You'll probably just be trying to evolve one Ralts to a Curlia and then hope to not draw into any more refinements. And you'll have to like get a get the step for 1 or step for 2 instead of step for 3.
Yeah, for sure. And they do have the Fog Crystal in hand, so they can guarantee the energy attachment. And they also even just have a basic energy in their hand. Hold on. Wait a second. I see 0 Super Rod in the deck.
Really? Was there 0?
Yeah, I think they prized both their Super Rods.
Oh, no. That's not great. Yeah, see, they're going for the triple Ralts here, so they'll be able to step for 2 pretty comfortably. Yep. And now that's not that big of a deal yet. Like, this is not... But
there's nothing like Avery in either of these decks. That's where things can get a little awkward potentially. But there's also a lot to balance here, right? There's the Cresselia, there's the Manaphy, there's the Jirachis, there's the Screamtails, right? Like, how do you approach the situations in this mirror match where like your opponent, whatever you try to attack with, they theoretically have a response for, and whatever you put a response for in play, they have another way to attack around.
Well, the Cresselia is already opened up here from Team USA, which like helps Australia in that regard. But Australia opened Greninja, which is kind of like the same thing here, where it's like now you lose a bench space to be able to utilize a Cresselia or a Screamtail or put down Manaphy or Jirachi to play around one or the other. And I'm actually not sure how far you want to commit. Like I think you want your opponent to commit first. Like, if your opponent commits to Screamtail, then you want to bench Manaphy plus Cresselia, one of their Curlias, right? But yeah, it looks like the step prized here actually, I think, on the Australian side. I think it might be. So they definitely want to be more, and with their step prize, they want to try and be the aggressor. Yes, step is prized. So they want to get a bunch of Ralts down. They want to look for like turn 2 Candy Gardevoir. That's when I think you usually want, like if you're behind, if you just don't have the option of step, I think you just want to be Candy out Gardevoir and going for the aggression.
And attacking with Probably something like Screamtail, most likely.
Yeah, start to remove
that
the
can KO
Curlias.
just about anything, whether it's something in the bench or the active spot. No one's going to be pushing Zacian on turn 2, I don't think. So
Yeah, and we see that aggressive play there as well, using the concealed cards instead of attaching the Psychic to set up for like the retreat. They had the Fog Crystal on hand, so they're definitely able to retreat the Greninja to the Mew, but wants to maximize outs to Ralts and being able to retreat. Now they got an energy off that. They could dig a little bit deeper. They can go like Artisan Fog for 2 more Ralts. Retreat, use the Mysterious Tail to try and dig deeper for that Candy Guardy on the next turn or something like that.
I'm sure they're talking about the sequence here of like how exactly they want to do this. When do they use the Artisan? When do they use the Mew? Do they want to commit to putting the Artisan in play because it also helps your opponent, right? Can you make it work with just 1 Ralts or just 2 Ralts, I should say?
Yeah, when you don't have the
lot to consider.
Yeah, we don't have the step. You definitely want that 3rd Ralts. And we see they are throwing out the Artisan here because if US does go for the step themselves,
right? But what I'm saying though is like they could retreat, and before they commit to the Artisan, they could see if they get like a level ball or a Fog Crystal off the Mew. Yeah.
Oh, and then or get a Battle VIP pass, right? And then
or get a VIP pass.
Yeah, that's true. I guess that's true. You probably do want to hold the Fog Crystal for sure. So I guess this does increase their odds. And they didn't prize a Ralt as well, so they could go. They probably don't want to put down 4 Ralts though, because they want to be able to have access to Screamtail or Shining Arcana on the next turn. So you probably don't want to quad Ralt your bench here.
Yeah, and honestly, with 2 bench spaces being committed to Greninja and Mew to like support Pokemon, it does limit your more defensive plays. With you're not able to put down both Jirachi and Manaphy, for example.
Yeah, yes. And I don't think you ever end up in a board set really where you have both Jirachi and Manaphy down. It's usually you let your opponent commit to Cresselia or Screamtail first, and then you protect against that one while going after their Curlias. And now if they really want to chase your Curlias with the other one, they can. But then all of a sudden they have both in play of the Screamtail and the Cresselia. And that's that much less room for Ralts and Curlias and Gardevoirs to like further set up your more powerful Pokemon, specifically like your draw power. That's like the big thing, the refinements, the Shining Arcana draw power.
Ooh, they are going to use this Fog Crystal here.
Yeah, need that triple Ralts.
Yeah, but they could have level balled for Ralts, right? So I think is this level ball going to get Jirachi then?
No. We're just going to hold it for refinement
Hold it for another... Okay.
Yeah, I don't think you play around your opponent having Candy Guardy here. If they have Candy Guardy when you prize...
They would also need a lot of Psychic Energy in the discard pile still.
Yeah. I think they only have the one there. So I think we assume it's just not happening here on the Australian side. But it could happen. It is possible that Candy Guardy happens, and then they could start to be aggressive and then kind of force the Candy Guardy response and force them out of the option of the Mirage step.
So what's Team USA thinking about here? They've got a couple of stadiums in hand. They've got a couple supporter options as well. You could research, get more aggressive. Obviously, you're evolving this Curlier regardless. But how valuable are the stadiums, right? Do you want to save them and go for an Iono? Your opponent did not play a supporter on their opening turn. So is that something else you consider as well?
That's true. The collapse can be important in the late game to remove your only guard EX off the board. It's a lot easier to do that if you do pull off a Mirage step initially. But yeah, do you want to Iono your opponent after they didn't play a supporter on their first turn? Of course, that doesn't tell you that much about their setup. I think them going for the triple Ralts, though, kind of telegraphs they either prize Mirage Step or they're not going for Mirage Step, one or the other.
Their hand can support not going for it. Maybe they have 2 refinements or something in their hand plus a research, right? Like they would hold that hand.
Are they actually going to grab the Screamtail here? Are they going for Candy Gardevoir here on the US side? Not going to leave open that room for the Mirage Step.
They can see a lot of cards here, right? If they're going research, they're going full aggressive.
Oh, whoa. They're just going full aggressive here.
Yeah, and there's a Ultra Ball. There's another Curlia. All they need here is a rare candy. They do need 2 more energy to be found, I think. I don't think there's any in the discard pile just yet, except that one that just got refinemented away.
Well, the Screamtail will be able to attack for sure.
Oh, right. Yeah, it doesn't need the full 4, of course. It can just, if you get 2 energies on it, it can...
That's the hit!
They get the rare candy. That's huge.
This felt like a really aggressive play. It didn't feel like necessary for them to take this route. It felt like going the Mirage Step or just like not using Artisan and then playing research first and seeing what you drew. Felt fine. But they just went full aggressive, played for the Candy Gardevoir, got the Candy Gardevoir, and now they're going to be able to get that.
If they were going for
knockout.
this, should they have played the Ultra Ball first before they used that last refinement? Increase your chances a little bit more.
It's a little bit.
You keep your options open, I guess, still regardless, right?
It does it definitely mitigates against the potential that you whiff So now you could like go get a third Curlier or something and just use Refinement again. So I think I like the idea of playing it slower. They do lose a lot of comeback cards here.
Pretty costly Ultra Ball for sure. But when you're the one who's being aggressive, it is a little less likely that you're going to use both of those cards. We do see they had 2 Counter Catcher and 2 Reversal Energy in hand. So they at least still have one of each of those pieces as options later in the game. And yeah here we go. Psychic Embrace, 2 energy to the active. And Roaring Scream can take a prize. I have to imagine on a Ralts on the bench.
But KOing the Mew here, I think, would reduce the odds of the response Candy Guardy the most, right? So I almost don't hate KO Mew here.
Yeah, but when you saw your opponent go aggressive for all these Ralts, like you said, you kind of are thinking that it's pretty likely that they're...
They don't have the Mirage Step, which means they want the aggressive Candy Guardy, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like KOing the Mew would, like, make that the hard... It would make it hardest here to get the Candy Guardy here if you take out the Mew. But
Team Australia's hand is not great at the moment. Obviously, there's a lot of potential here.
Yeah, the refinements are on the way, but you don't want to do double refinement. You want Candy Guardy here. So I don't think you want to go down 2 prize cards.
And what do you want to attack with here? Is it like your own Screamtail to respond to the active Screamtail?
I'd probably Screamtail a Curlia here. I think we got to get rid of the...
yeah, sure.
Yeah, I think we got to get rid of the Curlia. So, like, I don't refinement away the Ultra Ball here. It looks good to me, and then tail for the Candy. Is there how many energy in the discard pile? Is there a couple here at this point? We're down to 2. It should be like 2 or 3, right? Because we use Greninja plus retreated or have it on the Ralts.
I think there is 2, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see what... Oh, they get rid of the Shiny Arcana. Give up on the Shiny Arcana here. Energy. But that gives us Greninja draw power. We're not done yet.
Yeah, it gives us something still. And they still have Mew. Don't forget.
There's
There's the rare candy. Okay, hold on for a second.
I feel like this is like pre-Iono Guardy Mirrors, where everyone was playing for turn 2 Candy Guardy, like every single game. And we got it here now. It's Candy Guardy. Yeah, I don't know. The Shiny Arcana discard was interesting because it feels like the Ultra Ball is just pretty tough to use out of this hand.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. And they also could have leveled well for the Screamtail ahead of time as well, right? They could have gone more aggressive for that. But yeah, they got to play.
In there. It wasn't prized or anything, was it?
I'm not 100% sure. Definitely have to pay. We definitely should pay a little bit more attention, I guess, to the prize cards when they go
it's hard
search
to keep
for them.
Track, man. Yeah.
We did notice some Mirage Step was prized. That we did notice. But to be honest, it would have been like, would you have even wanted to Mirage Step here, even if you had it? Like your opponent got the turn 2.
You could have, right? With the collapse in play as well. Like
yeah. Even if we had to answer the collapse, do we really want to give up 2 prize cards before we like draw a prize card? That sounds kind of tough. That sounds tough for sure.
Tail finds another rare candy. Is actually just going to thin the VIP pass.
Combos with the Ultra Ball, right?
Yeah. I think that's definitely a little better here. You're not going to use the rare candy for several turns, most likely.
Yeah. To be honest, they could just, if they're trying to get another Ralts off this level, well, they could just attack with Guardy EX.
Yeah, I was just thinking that as well. It could be a little risky. I mean, as Team USA... you are the aggressor already. Like, would you be fine to just respond to that with like your own Zacian or something like that? Just go in, just full commit to this prize trade line.
I think you would, but it'd be hard to get there, right? It's gonna be hard to get 9.
You need a bit of energy, yes.
Yeah, you need a lot of energy in the discard pile. And you've already kind of limited yourself with the collapse, so like the chance that you get off your own Greninja or something like that is gonna be tough.
Yeah, let's see if the Screamtail might not be in there. Yeah, it doesn't. Oh no, it is in there. Okay, so we are just gonna get a Ralts here.
Yeah, so
interesting that the level ball didn't get played before using the Mysterious Tail.
Yeah, maybe they weren't sure where they were kind of sitting at with that choice as well. Like maybe they weren't sure if they wanted to Guardy EX. Actually, they're going with a boss. Oh, are they going to boss a Curlia? Okay.
Plus knock it out with the Gardevoir EX. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So this feels like the best of both worlds, right?
Sure.
And also going to preserve the energy in the hand. It looks like so that way they have draw power with the concealed cards next turn as well.
Yeah, they could also just attach from hand, but I don't think it fixes any math to attach from hand to the Guardy EX, right?
Oh, they're going for it. Does it? What is it? We go from
310 down to 260.
270. We go down to 250 if we get another one out of the discard pile. Does that really make a difference? Because now we have no energy for the concealed cards. And okay, maybe they just knew.
They just knew.
Yeah, maybe they just knew. All right, so U.S. in the lead here in this game. I think for the first time they're actually in the lead. I don't think they've been in the lead. Well, they were in the lead at the end of the Tina game, but they didn't feel like they were in the lead. Now it feels like they're in the lead for the first time.
Azul, I think the people want to hear a little bit more of the team comms, which I'm totally down for.
Sure. You want to go ahead and tune in, see what U.S. is thinking on this turn?
Yeah.
Already,
right?
we'd want to draw cards, right?
I don't think we do this turn. I think we just hold it at least for one more turn. Like we only have this Curlia, we don't have rods, and so I feel like we need to kind of keep
Yeah.
our draw options where we have them.
We need
I
to get a
think-
Ralts though, right?
Yeah, Ultra Ball, Moonlit Hill.
That seems fine.
Sure. It's either that or like discard reversal instead. Or the counter catcher, but I think we want
Nah.
to keep Ultra Ball.
Okay, so which attacker do you think we use this turn?
Wait, do we have a choice? How many
Yeah,
psychics are in our discard?
20.
We could.
46. Oh no, we can't.
Yeah, we don't
can't,
have a
can't.
choice.
Yeah.
All right, not thinking
Capped at
this day.
60.
Yeah. That would have been wild.
Hey man, I'm not that terrible.
So they can worst case scenario here. I mean, it looks like they're going with the Cresselia right this turn.
Well, no, they can't do the Cresselia. They just talked about that. They could Cresselia the Mew, but they
The
can't
Mew.
Cresselia the Curlia. But I feel like the Curlia's got to go down here, right? You want to remove the Curlia
Okay,
from your
sure.
opponent's side of the field. But that would be interesting for them not to evolve the Curlia to the Shiny Arcana here, because okay, they're actually
gonna
going
do
for
it.
it. But they were talking about not doing it, right? That's what it felt
They
like.
should have done that before they got that Ralts, right?
Yeah, because playing that Ultra Ball is pretty costly to then have used the Shiny
Yeah.
Arcana. It feels like. Yeah, not a big fan of that sequence there. I think they were at first they liked the idea of keeping the Curly around, so that way next turn they could go Refinement Shiny Arcana. But then they realized, wait, our Curly is just gonna get knocked out, and then we have no Curlias in play, and then we have no draw power, and then we probably lose. So I think they remedied that there by evolving to the Shiny Arcana, which I think makes the most sense. Now they dispose of the only Curly in play on the Australian side. And this has become a pretty interesting game of Gardevoir, because the Ionos are going to start to hit pretty hard here soon for both players. No Super Rod pulled off the prize cards yet either.
Can we go hear what Team Australia is thinking about this?
Yeah, let's tune in.
It's terrible. They did not draw an Iono off of the prizes.
Plus one. Kalia.
Yeah, we should just go Charles on Kalia. We're a little bit
Yeah.
away from this Arcana, unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah, the only issue with getting the Ralts is that we don't have the bench space.
Yeah, but we will eventually see one.
Punish one vacuum here, because
Yeah, because our hand's tiny.
yeah. Hopefully, we just unprize the supporter at some point.
Hey, CC, you know, it's a solid card.
Yeah, we can.
Like
Oh my god.
a really good card. But are we even playing this Ultra Ball? Like, I'm not gonna lie, we're just gonna get Curly,
Yeah.
draw 2 cards, and then it's gonna
I
die.
think we just see the Arcana and then.
Okay, what if we Ultra Ball
Yeah.
for Ralts?
Yeah,
Counter catcher the Shiny Arcana is pretty good here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually agree.
Yeah, Shiny Arcana. Counter Catcher Shiny Arcana does seem like the play. That was like a pretty good draw. Like that's what James was saying, right? That's pretty good. Like, can't win the Screamtail is like kind of whatever. No one really cares about Screamtail.
Yeah.
The Ultra Balls are super costly though here, right? Like this Ultra Ball is like you can't. It's so hard to play this Ultra Ball. And if you do go get a Curlia, you have to refinement away a Super Rod. And if you get a Ralts, the Ralts it maybe is like the way to go here. Just get a Ralts, put it on the bench, and you hope to piece something together. I think they were talking as if they had prized a decent amount of supporters as well, so they could just hope to pull one off the prize cards here as well. Still not checking the Screamtail though, right? The Screamtail's just going to come back up and KO a Ralts and do it again, right? Or what we could see is maybe we could see the reach for Zacian this turn if like a research is seen. Oh, and there's the research off the prize cards for Australia.
Yep.
Yeah, I think if we see a Zacian KO here would be like the best play. But yeah, with the current hand here, I think it's just going to be Screamtail's going back in. He's doing it again.
Okay, another Ralt. Screamtail's out here taking names. Yeah. There is really not much going on here. I mean, you could concealed cards away the reversal energy.
I think you got it, right?
Yeah.
You find a refinement here.
Yeah, you just got to do something. They could boss the Greninja, make it a little more annoying for the Australians to move. But I mean, that doesn't seem great. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure enough, Greninja comes down. And there's the Iono. Okay.
But
They only have 2
maybe-
cards in their hand, so they didn't do much last turn either. So you probably.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate to see Boss Greninja trap it, or if you Boss KO'd Greninja with your own Guardi EX. Or what if-
Also, Iono does let you dig for the Zacian KO here, potentially.
That would be a tall order. I don't even know if they have enough. I don't know if that's possible. like based on the amount of cards you'd see. Because Zacian's gonna go to the bottom of your deck.
Yeah.
Gonna find him again. You gotta get enough psychics in the discard pile. I think that the Zacian KO here, I think, would be if you could pick any play to do.
Yeah.
They're gonna go for the Cresselia play here, and the boss on the. I don't think you Iono here though, right? Like Iono in here feels pretty weak. To reset your opponent's hand after they did nothing last turn.
Yeah, and they probably aren't since they're already using Psychic Embrace, right? If they were going to play the Iono, I would expect to see them sequence it more properly, right? So I think it is going to be the Cresselia Moonglow reverse onto a Ralts.
Yeah, I also don't love the boss on the Greninja either. I feel like you want to save your, especially when you're ahead like this, you want to save because you don't have counter catcher to make the comeback gust effect. So I think I like the holding the boss there as well. Save it as a win condition. Don't try and get too cheesy on the Greninja. Still no Super Odd for US here.
Australia's kind of got the gas though with this hand in this exact situation. Fog Crystal, Super Odd. You can do a lot with that, and then you have research as well to just dump the hand, draw a bunch of cards.
Yeah, do they have another counter catcher left here? Because if they do, they could counter catcher KO the lone Ralts in play, which would seem like the best play.
We'll see in the deck here. Yep, sure enough, counter catcher is still there.
They go for the Cresselia grab as well. So that would also be a way to go after this Ralts as well, right? It's to just Cresselia KO it, and they're lining that up. So they will at least be able to Cresselia it.
Have the option, yep.
Yeah. So I guess that's always better than counter catcher anyways, probably, to be honest. And they found the refinement.
Yeah, and they have concealed cards as well with this energy. They're going to start with that.
I guess would there ever be merit to like KOing the Ralts with the Guardi EX, or should you always just Cresselia it? Probably always Cresselia it, right?
Yeah, take your the longer this Gardevoir stays in the active, the more chance of a just Zacian swinging through it increases, right? So
yeah,
keep this. You've gotten a lot of value from this as an attacker already. It's taken 2 prizes for you. I think that's usually pretty good in this mirror match if you can get 2 prizes out of your 2 prize Guardi EX. Get it out of there. Don't let it go down.
Yeah, I guess you're actually kind of like eventually asking to just beat. Well, the energy's like spread thin now on the bench on that side too, though. But like, I guess the thing is you're always just gonna get like you might not Cresselia it again. That's possible, but you would just get Scream-tailed again for sure. You would just end up getting Scream-tailed. So you're not like preventing something from getting a knockout on your opponent's turn.
Yeah.
So, yeah, probably makes sense for you to just utilize your own Cresselia, spread out some energy, heal some damage, stuff like that. There we go. We did see US take the early lead, but it does. I feel like Australia is in a more commanding position now at this point for how things have panned out.
And they did take an Iono off the prizes there.
Yeah, another supporter. They knew they were a prize. They're like, we're gonna look for them. Still, and once again, still no Super Rod found for US here. No Ralts. They're out of Ralts. They're out of Ralts.
Yeah, 2 in the discard pile, 1 in the prizes.
2 Super Rod prize as well. The last 3 prize cards are Ralts double Super Rod.
And that's not ideal.
Definitely not ideal. Not looking great.
Team USA with the rough go of things to kick off this crew battle. They're just going to grab something that they can put to the bottom here with the Iono, I think.
Yeah, thin out the deck a little bit. I guess they value the Manaphy or the Jirachi a little bit higher. They might even bench the Zacian here.
How much of this comes back to the way Team USA played their turn 2?
What'd they go for on that turn 2?
They went that aggressive Scream-tail KO.
What was the alternative? I don't think they really had that great of an alternative.
They maybe didn't have a great alternative, honestly.
I don't think so. They got an energy to draw with Greninja here, which is good. They could have benched the Zacian there, to be honest. I didn't hate the bench of the Zacian there because it's like another piece you're going to have to find to be able to ever close out this game. Now it's going to be Scream-tail KO Curlia, right? Is there another play to be had?
Scream-tail KO Curlia seems pretty good. The amount of Curlia hate and Ralts hate that we've seen in this battle is kind of ridiculous, to be honest.
That's just the Guardian Mirror, though, right? That's
They've
all
just
you do.
never stood a chance, man. They never get a chance.
Yeah, and that's all you do, right? That's what made the mirror match. That's what made the mirror match so honestly bad. I feel like that once Scream-tail came out, like you had just no defense against the Scream-tail Cresselia combo. It's just like if you bench Manaphy or Jirachi, the other one punches you. You don't want to bench Manaphy and Jirachi because then your bench sucks. So yeah, they're just coming at you one after the other.
There's the damage on the Scream-tail, the 2 energy. You want to hop in and hear what they're saying?
Yeah, where we're going to the US side here, see what they're putting together.
I mean, we have to assume we're getting Iono, right? They have 4 left.
Yeah, they're definitely gonna Iono.
I'm down to slam the energy. And at which point maybe we play the level ball then, because we know Zacian and Boss are both at the bottom.
Yeah. Okay.
We think we're gonna get Iona.
No, I like shuffling too. Yeah, shuffle the deck.
Always an important thing to keep in mind.
Okay. Okay, wait. This turn we probably bench one of these two, right now.
Yeah. Should we take which one?
I mean, we take Jirachi, so we can't. Or no.
Probably is Jirachi, right?
Well, I mean, they're not gonna use Moonglow Reverse.
I mean, they could Moonglow the active, or no, if we take Manaphy, then they can Moonglow the guy on the bench. But they're probably just gonna Moonglow the Screamtail. In all honesty, right? That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, because it's easier.
Yeah, so they're just gonna Moontail the Screamtail for kill, and then we have to crest. We have to draw a rod and crest them probably. It's gonna be so hard. Okay,
Rising 2 rods in the last 3 is crazy.
I actually don't know which one's better.
It's not great.
All right, yeah, they're putting it together here. The yeah, it's crazy here. Goes with the draw.
Oh wait, I thought they said they were going with Manaphy, but no.
I
they
honestly
go
think
Jirachi.
Manaphy might have been a little bit better here because you're.
Yeah.
I guess you're forcing the Cresselia to KO your Screamtail, but that's what they have to do anyways, it feels like. So if you get Manaphy, and then maybe you go Guardi EX KOs Cresselia on your following turn, then Manaphy protects from like a potential Screamtail snipe. So I feel like the Manaphy was maybe a little bit better here. They like they said, they do plan on getting Iono'd here. They think that's probably what is going to happen.
And they still have.
Oh my! Oh, there wasn't a Ralts
Wait,
prize.
where's the other Ralts?
I think they had all 4 then. They must have had all 4.
Okay, and then the last 2 prizes are literally just 2 super odd. What the
Jeez.
heck?
They still have the win condition though of Zacian Boss. They still have Zacian Boss available to them.
It's a lot to grab off 17 cards in deck.
No Iono found. That's what they were predicting. No Iono found here though for Australia. Dude, this has been a crazy game of Gardevoir Mirror, to be honest. Usually, like, everyone just sets up perfectly, the Mirage steps kick in, and then it's just snipe Curlia, snipe Curlia, snipe Curlia, snipe Curlia, and then, like, usually whoever draws the first prize card just has a huge advantage, but...
We've only seen, like, one Shining Arcana even come into play.
Yeah. No, like, yeah, the Guardians have been very few. One Mirage step was prized, and that was a cause of that, and then for Australia, they just had that aggressive start, and they took advantage of it, right?
So what? They can reverse the active, get they're gonna bench this other Curlia, which I guess makes sense, right?
Yeah, you need to access
give yourself
that
the draw power option next turn. Yeah, there's really just not much lined up here for them. Maybe they're debating right now between where they want to put the energy with Psychic Embrace to get this KO. They could also go for a Lunar Blast, but it's probably best to just Moonglow reverse here.
And I assuming we know. I guess you have to KO the active. I was gonna say, assuming KO the active makes the most sense.
Yeah,
There's literally nothing else to do. Yeah, there's literally nothing else to do. I was like trying to come up with anything, but but the Lunar Blast does preserve energy in the discard pile, which is maybe what they're thinking about here. That is what they go for. They go for the Lunar Blast here, unless they're gonna. Yeah, they're going for the Lunar Blast. Here it is. There's still not enough energy in the discard pile for the Zacian to get a knockout on the Guardi. Yeah, this is gonna get interesting here in these last couple turns. What are you saying?
Yeah, there is. Whose collapse stadium is this?
I believe it is the U.S. Collapse Stadium. Yeah.
So they are. Yes, this is their collapse stadium. So there's not like a Lost Vacuum plus collapse the way the Guardi EX play, anything like that. That would be a lot to get anyway. But
yeah, there's the Guardi EX send up. What is even the play here for the U.S. side? You have Jirachi defend your bench now. Do you just knock out the active with Guardi EX? Do you Iono? Or do you not? Because Australia hasn't really done anything the last couple turns.
that is that's probably what they're talking about here, right? Is it even worth?
No.
Yeah, it does get them closer to finding the pieces to win the game. But I mean, and there is a research in deck. But I guess that doesn't really do anything for you because you're gonna have to boss next turn anyway, right?
They're going for it. I mean, that's what they're probably looking for here. Is probably like Lunar Blast into boss KO. They found an energy, so that's going to be a couple cards for Greninja. Do you ever just like not draw a prize card to have the access to this counter catcher plus Zacian possibly? You could go counter catcher plus research into the Zacian next turn.
That is true, and I think that might be what they're thinking. Well, they could just Lunar Blast the active. Are they just going to Lunar Blast? Honestly, that would be pretty good. Well, then does it become a game of chicken and the Australians can like respond in the exact same way?
Maybe, but they have a research in their hand. So then they know they're going to be able to draw a decent amount of cards next turn to dig for the boss play.
For the following turn?
Yeah, but now are they just relying on hopefully top decking boss here? It looks like that's what they're going for here is top deck boss or top deck energy.
Top deck boss.
Use concealed cards to get the boss. But that would have been, but I think Australia would have caught on, right? For sure. Like they'd be like, why would you just pass here? Unless, but they are going for the knockout. They are going to. They are guaranteed.
It's only 2 cards for Australia to find all the pieces here. It's like a lot to do, right? It's a lot to ask for.
And the Zacian did just go to the bottom of the deck here for Australia. Imagine if they didn't get a imagine if they didn't get a super rod off the prize card.
Deck list error.
Yeah. So it has to be attack with Guard EX here then at this point. Yeah, Australia's got nothing. They got this. Hold on, they got a Mysterious Tail.
Yeah, they got the Mysterious Tail. Finds a level ball. Not super helpful.
That's refinement.
Oh
Right?
yeah. They've got the Ralts they benched last turn.
Yeah.
So that can find them. Is there enough energy in the discard pile?
I don't think so. I don't think the Zacian play is
Literally, if
online
they found
here.
exactly Zacian boss.
I don't think it's online. They'd have to
They
find
could also
research. No, there's no research. Never mind.
Does Turo ever help them at all? I don't think so at this point.
I think they want an Iono. I think you just want Iono and then KO with Guard
Yeah,
EX. Use
Iono
KO with
to
your own Guard
one.
EX. Yeah.
Mhm.
I think that sets up the best potential here for you. And then you look for your own boss next turn to boss KO. Or you could, like, I don't know, maybe put together like a Scream Tail or the Scream. Yeah, you could like Scream Tail on the next turn instead. You could Scream Tail the Jirachi.
So Curly discard, I guess I
I don't think you need Manaphy to protect your bench because the
mm.
Cresselia would already go after your bench anyways. Has US used their
yeah, but
Scream Tail actually?
Screamtail might just be in deck. So I think if Screamtail is in deck, you probably do want to keep the Manaphy around, right?
Yeah, I don't know if it is though. I'm actually not sure if they got the Scream Tail left not or not. I thought they had went through it at this point.
They're getting rid of their own Screamtail.
Yeah. All right. Well, the Manaphy they might need here.
It's crazy this Collapse Stadium came in play on turn 2 and has been here the entire game.
Yeah, literally has not moved. Oh yeah, that is true. There's no boss left for Australia here. So getting rid of Screamtail is, I guess they have Zacian. They can always win the game with Zacian, right?
Yeah, they can just they're going to
Zacian,
KO the active here, and then they can just Zacian through whatever is the active.
Yeah.
Next
they still need to
turn.
get the energy for the Zacian though. They don't have enough energy to KO Guard EX. I'm not sure where the Screamtail is for Team US here. I'm not sure where it's at.
It's going to be a close one. Manaphy probably just has to come down though, right? Yeah. Manaphy
But
is
then you
gonna
don't have
be-
bench space for Zacian.
Well, you have to find you've got Vacuum, you've got well, I guess they don't have Artisan. They use Artisan turn 1, right? Yeah, they used Artisan
Yeah.
turn 1. And there's research off the prizes. Dang, they priced so many supporters. Okay, Team USA. Let's see if they've got the win.
They can Super Rod back Cresselia here. That's all they get, right?
Yeah.
Grab Cresselia, play the research, find Cresselia. Oh wait, you don't have enough. No, you do have enough Psychic Pokemon.
Yeah,
The
you have
Mew's
to-
on the bench, so you'll be good.
Yeah, the Mew with only 40 HP remaining. Yep.
Yeah, I looked at the bench and I was like, oh, just a Jirachi and a Greninja. They actually don't do damage, but yeah, the Mew.
Super Rod back, just Cresselia research.
I have to imagine that's the move here.
Yeah,
Checking the-
and they're lining it up.
Well, it's looking pretty good here for Team USA. I was about to say, if Australia did win this, they would only have 2 decks remaining, and where would they even that does start to narrow down the field. I was about to ask the question of what they have left. Okay, there we
And
go.
here,
Yeah, so
Fog
there it
Crystal
is.
does find the Cresselia. Oh, or Zacian. Either way, choose your flavor here. What is
They
this?
do
slow roll?
realize
What
they
are we
have the
doing?
win, right?
You want to listen in?
Yeah, I mean, they're probably just trolling. I have to imagine they're just trolling at this point.
They might be using this time to talk about what next deck they're bringing in stuff.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, we could-
Maximizing their entire.
Yeah, we can tune in
Time.
and listen to what they're talking about.
Oh, we did it. We took a game. It all starts with one, man.
That is true. That is honestly.
Don't let us get one. Don't let us get one.
Let us get one, dude.
Wow.
Wow, we only lost 2 before this, right? Like we're only.
Yeah, we're only down the game.
Yeah, honestly, that's not bad. That's for the start we had. Not bad. Okay.
All right, there we go. There we go.
Zacian would have still won us the game there, right?
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
lot more
we had
clicks, man.
enough.
That's a lot more clicks.
Yeah, it's a lot more.
Oh, let's go, boys. Let's go.
Alrighty.
Woo.
Prizing 2 rod in the rod came at the right time.
Okay, thank God.
It definitely could have came sooner, man.
Yeah, could
Yeah, hello, right
Yeah,
now.
that's kind of cope. That was pretty
And look,
terrible.
my hair is even. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's delete
Did
Guardian.
you say your hair?
Dude, look at my guy's hair.
Yeah. What?
What?
You saw that, right, Reagan? Why is it blonde?
Was it just red? It was
Just
red,
PTCG
right?
live things.
It was brown.
Yeah.
Alright, so we delete guard. Yeah.
Okay, so now we gotta think. We kind of gotta cook. Okay, so the problem is, so their decks are what? Lax, Guardy, and Mew, right?
Yeah. We. Okay. Okay, let's think about it this way. So if our angle is that we need to essentially XO Mew, we need to like lock out their Mew.
Well, I mean that's not necessarily it because
Dude, I think that's the angle we're going for though. So like, what if we should we just send the decks and try to get wins with the decks that are just the worst against Mew of the ones that we have?
well,
So we have-
I'm just saying like, well, yeah, I guess
Because I don't think they're going Mew next. I don't think that's
okay.
what
Well,
they're
the thing like okay, so I was thinking I didn't want to send CPOW next because CPOW is probably better going first, right? Like
Yeah,
I mean,
CPAL's a lot
yeah.
better going
It
first.
does a lot better going first.
like I mean their decks are Guardy, Mew, and Snorlax are the 3 they have left.
Yeah.
CPOW is not great against
Not
Mew
trying to
decks.
go second against Mew.
That's what I'm saying. So I think we don't send CPOW this round.
Do you think it's
I don't.
Tina?
Do we think they're sending Mew? Like,
Do you think, dude?
I think Tina's the safest option.
Well,
to
of
be
course,
honest.
Tina probably gets us a win. The question is, do we just want to send the Tina win now? Maybe we just send the Tina win now. You think we do? Even it
Yeah.
back up.
'cause Tina's also not phenomenal against Mew. Like I think we can cook Mew, but like it's not.
True,
like,
and Tina's pretty good to the other two, so it probably makes
Yeah.
sense to Tina, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
This is like this works for the yeah.